Good morning, viewers. It's 8:35 a.m. Saturday, April 23rd. I'm Lily, and I will bring you the latest news from around the globe. The World Research Institute recorded that more than half of global greenhouse gas emissions were contributed by 10 countries in the world. From climate watch data released by WRI Indonesia, China was the largest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions until early 2018. Back in 2019, China were responsible for 60% of global emissions, and its carbon output keeps rising annually. China's emissions are so vast that its biggest companies, few of which are household names, create more pollution than entire nations. In 2020, China produced 9.9 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. United States, who also contributes in a big part of polluters, has produced 5.2 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. Researchers studied 93 million housing units in the US to analyze how much greenhouse gas emissions were generated in different locations based on the income of homeowners. The study was released on Monday, the 20th of July 2020, in the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. They found that housing carbon emission contains nearly 1/5 of the gases that fuels global warming due to the burning of coal, oil, and natural gas. Based on the New York Post on Tuesday, the 21st of July 2020, they found that the expense on greenhouse gas emissions from the energy use of the average high-income person's home was £6,482 per year. An environmental scientist at University of Michigan, Benjamin Goldstein, said that people who are richer tend to have bigger homes, and they tend to have higher greenhouse gas emissions. Meanwhile, India refuses to implement a zero carbon emission target. The country believes that the current climate crisis was caused by the carbon emission of developed countries in the past. India is the third largest emitter of carbon in the world. As a result, the country is under pressure to make commitments to achieve neutral carbons by at least the middle of this century. India's Environmental Secretary R.P. Gupta said his country is a victim of climate crisis, not a contributor to emissions. He also said net zero was not the right way to tackle climate problems. Scientists are urging that at this point. With the impact of climate change already manifesting, the net part of these net zero announcements are coming too late and have shifted the focus from reducing emissions to simply offsetting them with nature or tech-based solutions that simply don't yet exist at the scale necessary to meet the needs. More recent data from the UN, however, suggests that if the world continued emitting the same amount of carbon dioxide as it did in the pre-COVID years of 2019, we would surpass our carbon budget necessary to limit the warning 1.5 degrees Celsius in approximately 8 years. This means that at our current trajectory, the plans for net zero by 2050 likely won't cut it anymore, as the planet could surpass the dire of 1.5 degrees Celsius mark around 2030. And that concludes our today's headline for this Saturday. I'm Lily, signing off.